I can think of only one thing that could lift my spirits right now. Beer.
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 Beer. Beer. Beer. Beer.
This is Drink of Ages on ESPN 97.5.
The only show dedicated to craft beer, spirits, and music.
Here's your host and luminary, John Denman.
John Denman.
All right, welcome to this week's episode of Drink of Ages radio show here on ESPN 97.5, live from House of Blues, Houston, in the restaurant at the Voodoo Stage. I'm John Denman, Tom Painter.
We're back, John. We're back from the islands.
We are back. I know that if you watch the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can see my rockin' tan that I have, my Maui tan.
Still very white.
It's a combination probably of more mud and sunscreen than anything.
You glisten. It's very nice.
It is, you know. Nice. And just I worked hard on this tan. But before we get going, I do want to say it is DJ Muskratch's birthday today. So happy birthday, DJ Muskratch.
Woo! Happy birthday.
And our music guest this week is the Lockdowns. They're going to be playing at Punks and Pints Fest happening June 26th at Spindle Tap Brewery. It's going to be a hell of a time. And our brewery guest this week, hanging out with us now from Lone Pint Brewery, we have Trevor Brown and Blake Niederhofer.
What's up, John?
Hello.
What's going on, guys? Making a nice trip from the beautiful Magnolia, Texas.
Yeah, on a beautiful Houston stormy day.
It is definitely, we got back, and I don't know if I've really gotten off the couch since we got back because it's like perfect couch weather.
It is.
It was the weekend because you had the PGA Championship on, so that gave you an excuse to sit on the couch all day.
Well, we almost didn't come back because it was gas shortages. It was just a constant storm, which is still going on. It was, yeah.
It was like just delay flights for like the next 8 years. Wouldn't have been too bad. So what's going on with Lone Pint? We're drinking some Yellow Rose. We have it on tap here at House of Blues. Yep. Always good.
Man, there's a ton of stuff going on at Lone Pint. We've got a bunch of new beer coming out. We have a lot of taproom specialty beer that we're going to drink through some of that tonight. We're talking about.
That's a lot of beer in the cooler back there.
It's a lot, but
I like when people come prepared.
Yes, but we're talking expansion right now. We're looking at buying some land and expanding the brewery. We're also talking about doing some cans. We've got a lot of really interesting stuff coming up.
There's just, at the growth stage of a brewery, right? You start off, you're just putting beers in glasses, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're gonna put beers in package. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're gonna. It just keeps going and going and going. Like it never really stops. Like the ability to grow, or what you want to grow into.
Well, it stops for us when you run out of room.
I was about to say, it's not the ability to grow. It's yeah. So that is what fueled the whole thing. So looking for a new place.
That's right. We're busting out of the seams. Just need to find a new place. We can't grow anymore unless we go up, and I don't think we're allowed to put a second story on the building.
That would be a pretty be the tallest building in Magnolia.
Our silo pretty much is the tallest building in Magnolia, so we have that honor already. It's a low bar.
You guys still thinking about staying in the same area? Is that where you're looking?
Yeah, we're going to stay in Magnolia city limits. Well, right now we're looking to. We'll just leave it that way.
Yeah. No, it's pretty awesome. You guys are 8 years into it now?
Yeah, so we shipped our first kegs November 30th of 2012, which seems like forever ago. But yes, so we'll come up on our 9-year anniversary this year.
That's fantastic. Well, we just had the Galveston Island on not too long ago, and their expansions and all that stuff. So it's always good to talk about buying new land, new building. That only means growth. And yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, you guys are part of the early breweries that popped up in the Houston area, and to see still rocking and still making excellent beers now. I mean, I do like Yellow Rose, but that Jabberwocky is probably my favorite.
We have some of that here tonight. We have some bourbon barrel aged Jabberwocky as well. So
I might have a new
do something
favorite.
like that in just a minute.
Is that what you're saying? No, it's pretty slick. When you head up to Magnolia, like I said, the brewery. Last time I was there, you had the tap wall, and you just kind of walked right up. Somebody hands you a beer. Then you built a little bar. So you've done little things, but it was already getting pretty packed in there. And that was probably 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, so we have a beer garden now. It's the property adjacent to the brewery. The property is actually a little bit bigger than the brewery property. So, and that's where the bar is.
Are you guys distributing outside of like the Houston area, like hitting other markets, Austin, Dallas?
Yeah, so we're in pretty much all of the major Texas markets. We're in Houston, Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Fort Worth. During COVID, we had the opportunity to expand into the Valley, so pretty much McAllen to El Paso, as well as some out into the Panhandle of North Texas. So we're in all the major Texas markets, and we're looking at possibly going outside, but right now we're just trying to service those markets and make sure we get them to where we need to be before we go anywhere else, because we want to make sure that, of course, Texas is taken care of first.
Well, before brewing, what were you doing?
Before brewing?
Before you started brewing. Well, actually, no. Even while you were.
Well, I started brewing in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before that was high school.
That's right. California Coolers.
Before you opened up the brewery, or while you were opening, you were still working. Are you still?
No. It's been June will be 2 years. Yeah, 2 years since I got out of the oil field. Yeah.
So now just doing all this full time.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it already consumes so much time to begin with. To have a second career going while you have this going.
Yeah, well, my wife filled all the extra time that I would have from 2 jobs with family stuff, so it's no different, really. I just get to see my kids more.
What is this palate cleanser that is on the table?
So we've been doing a lot of different things, kind of in the tap room, and some different things. I know that we're kind of known for Yellow Rose and for our IPA portfolio being pretty thick. But we've started to make a lot of stuff that's kind of lower ABV and a little bit easier to access. This is one of them. This is a ginger beer that we serve at the brewery. It is a pretty much outdoor beer garden, so this is one of those great kind of palate cleansers that you can have in between beers, or one of those hot Texas summer days.
It's just simple and refreshing. Very good.
It's super easy, just kind of lime juice and ginger, and just very easily drinkable. Yeah. So don't drink it all right now. We're going to be using that to
got to paste
kind
this.
of quench things in between. So do we want to jump into beers yet?
Yes.
Is it time?
Yes, full
Is it
speed.
time already, or-
Full speed into the
Are we
beers.
still doing small talk? Or?
The small talk is just to kind of lead in to get under the sheets. So
I don't
let's go
watch
ahead and jump
the,
under the sheets.
Yes, the seduction is over. Let the beer drinking begin.
I'm glad it worked.
I don't watch the DJ championships, so I don't know the proper way to MC.
So what will be the first thing that we're going to try tonight?
So, we've been members of the Texas Craft Brewers Guild for a long time, which is something we've always been really proud of. They're a great group, and it's a great way for us to spend time with other brewers. And so they did what they called a liquid bake sale. We took part in that, and so the backing behind it was to support Texas maltsters and Tex Malt in particular. So we used all Texas malts in this, and we brewed a Berliner Weiss. Now we called it a BS Berliner Weiss for a few reasons. One, because of bake sale, of course, and 2, because it really doesn't fall into the Berliner Weiss. It's a little bit too high in alcohol, But we also wanted to experiment some with the sour Vise yeast. So instead of us using souring bacteria to get the tartness of the Berliner Weiss, we use the sour Vise yeast, which is a yeast that's been basically modified to where it kicks out lactic acid with alcohol at the same time. We blended that with our house yeast and made this Berliner, which I think turned out amazing. So we'll start with that.
I like when people say, the ABV was higher than what it should be.
Yeah,
step
we
in the right
can't
direction.
sell beers less than 5.2% alcohol because we only have the manufacturer's or brewer's permit. So
Bureaucracy, laws, or just more fun to brew bigger beers.
Well, one of the things that also is different about this beer, besides the fact that we use the different souring method, is it has rye hybrid malt in there from Tex Malt. So it's got some rye, which isn't typical for Berliner Weiss either.
All right, let's crack it open, pass it down. Everybody loves the sound of a can opening.
So while we were making a sour, we didn't want it to be overpoweringly sour. So it is going to be a little bit more muted than some of the really sour beers that you may get from other breweries. But we thought it came across really balanced, and we're really happy with how it turned out.
That is incredibly refreshing.
That's a good beer. Yeah, it's not too tart.
5 IBUs.
Yes, all of them, all of the IBUs.
All the IBUs. No, it's more of that limey taste, the little sourness to it. But easy drinking, very light. What was it?
Great on a summer day, for
What was
sure.
the ABV again?
The ABV on the Berliner is right at 5.3.
5.3?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty tasty.
Definitely another one of those kind of lighter summer beers that you can drink in the heat.
Yeah, you can pretty much drink that one anytime, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a big sour fan. I like sour beers. So that's one of those that...
Yeah, but this isn't that sour. This is pretty, just throw it back.
Yeah, this
I like
would
it.
be pretty tasty with a shot of gin in it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm not really a fan of sour beers, and this one I've been drinking quite a bit of. So, it's one of those. It's kind of a gateway sour. I think it's definitely it's accessible to people that aren't always into sours.
All right, let's take a break. And, I need to refill this big glass, even though we have several small glasses we're going to be drinking from. This one needs to be filled up. And let's go ahead and listen to some of the Lockdowns, who, like I said, is going to be playing at Punks and Pints Fest June 26th. Look it up online, Facebook, all that. Get your tickets. Only a few left for VIP. And when we get back, we'll talk more with Lone Pint Brewery. This is Drink of Ages. We'll be right back.
When you're listening to Heartbreak Radio, do you sing along to all the songs that you know? You have the station saved on your car stereo. Yeah, you're listening to Heartbreak Radio. I'll be driving home and you'll go to your room. We might stay up late, maybe wake up around noon. I'll be driving home and you'll call me soon. Yeah, you're listening to Heartbreak Radio.
Hey, this is Shane with New Magnolia Brewing Company. We're a family-owned and operated brewery located at 1616 Bevis Street in the historic Houston Heights. Neighborhood brew pub serving up a high-rotation, high-variety of finely crafted beers, everything from an award-winning American Light Lager, IPA, funky sours, and European classics like our award-winning Father Bernard's Grodzinski, a 400-year-old Polish smoked wheat ale. Join us this Saturday, May 8th, from 12 to 7 for Crawfish. We're also open Sunday from 12 to 7 for Mother's Day, so bring her on in and make her feel special. Ready to join the New Magnolia Bike and Run Club? Both launch weekly from the brewery. Check Instagram and Facebook for details. Taproom open 7 days a week, plenty of parking, 2 very expansive outdoor seating areas, spacious, indoor taproom, family and dog friendly. Cheers. We hope to see you soon.
Weekends are a great time to check out Megaton Brewing in Kingwood. Jared, Chris, and the gang have created a badass place to kick back and enjoy a few beers. Big stouts, approachable sours, and plenty of hoppy brews are on tap at Megaton. Lots of space to hold your birthday party, corporate outing, or any event in one of the most unique tap rooms in the Houston area. Check them out on social media for their concert and event schedule. Megaton Brewery. Hope to see everyone at the vault. Key T Wellness, our friends down in Dickinson, is where you need to go if you're feeling sluggish, non-energetic, and non-motivated, not just when you're hungover. Get to know your numbers. As we get a little older, our hormone levels change, men and women. Key T Wellness can help. Weight loss, hormone optimization, low testosterone, B12, Botox, and more. Stop in and tell them that you heard it on Drink of Ages and get a free B12 shot. KeyTWellness.com. Why not feel your best again? KeyTWellness.com.
Enjoying tonight's show? Have a vision you need to make a reality? Reach out to Hell and High Water Productions. I did. Jason and the crew produce each Drink of Ages YouTube show. Corporate events, concerts, commercials, live streams, they have the skill and technology to make it happen. Come Hell and High Water, they are here to serve you. Give them a call at 832-356-9701.
Special announcement from Platypus Brewery. F off, mate. The latest taproom release is an American Hefeweizen that is chalky in appearance, generously dry hopped, imparting citrus and stone fruit flavors in a light and refreshing beer. Very easy on the palate. Also hitting the taproom at Platypus is Rough End of the Pineapple, a pineapple jalapeno sour. It sounds crazy, but it works very well, especially when you pair it with the chicken wings. Food specials all week long, including Chicken Parmy Tuesdays, Surf and Turf Wednesdays, Texas Barbecue Thursdays, and Fish and Chips Fridays. PlatypusBrewing.com, open Tuesdays through Sunday. Have an event in mind and looking for a place that is fun and beer is involved? Host your next event at a brewery. At Spindletap, they have full venue rental and partial rental options that are perfect for company events, birthday parties, weddings, receptions, and more. Host a memorable event at a venue that offers a fun atmosphere and many amenities. Email info@spindletap.com or call 713-325-1477 to get more details.
We are back. This is Drink of Ages radio show here live at House of Blues, Houston. I'm John Didman, Tom Painter, co-host. DJ Muskratch, the producer over there. Happy birthday to him. And hanging out tonight is Lone Pint Brewery. We have Trevor and Blake.
Man, how about the lockdowns, right?
Man, and our
awesome.
band, music guests this week, they jam.
Yeah, man. Having a band like that, though, makes it a marathon for us, right? Because you get like a 2-minute break.
Having the jam on that House of Blues stage is you know,
so cool.
that band was jamming.
It's like you get the Ramones on. Their songs are like 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, okay, hurry up. back. But speaking of things going on here at House of Blues, though, coming up, got a lot of cool stuff going on, which is badass because everything was shut down for so long. And now you're starting to see venues open back up. You're starting to see live music again, concerts, comedy shows, and all that. And coming up here on June 1st, Houston Jazz Orchestra is going to be playing here on the stage. Jesse Payton Comedy here in the restaurant on June 4th. AC/DC cover band back in black on the main hall. I know. I saw Trevor.
What?
Trevor got excited on that one.
I'm gonna write that down.
But it was good. And then Keith Hickle Band is going to also be playing here in the restaurant. And June 11th in
There's
the
a
main
whole
hall.
slew of well, June 11th is when the whole David Bowie like stuff starts taking over this place, and I'm all about it.
So here in the restaurant, Electric Eye is going to be happening, a David Bowie tribute band. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
And upstairs, that same in the main hall, and it might be the first concert back, Blackberry Smoke. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Blackberry Smoke. If you haven't heard them, look them up. Badass. I started singing it earlier. Tom looked at me, and I'm like, no, man, I feel a good one coming on.
Yeah, you kept on saying that, but the way you were looking at me about the good one was making me very uncomfortable. Or more comfortable? I don't know. No, but everything's returning back to normal, right? Like I know at No Label, our tap room everything is turning back to normal, and the
people getting out.
Yeah, the stuff is happening at tap rooms. Tap rooms are coming back to life in full force.
They are. We're seeing, we're so weather dependent. At Lone Pint, we have a very small inside area, but when it's nice, yeah, there's people everywhere. It's great.
I mean, people are ready to get back to the drinking again, and luckily, it seems like most breweries have kind of weathered the storm, and we certainly are taking a lot of hits during the year. There's a lot of unknowns out there, and it was like how it would end up, and sometimes some were lucky to end up better than how they started.
Well, I think a lot of people returning to tap rooms right now that haven't been there in a year, they're gonna be like, man, did they paint the place? They fixed that window. You know, they did work around the brewery and made it shinier.
Man, I'll tell you though, one of the really neat parts about the COVID deal, if you can be excited about any of it, is all of the support that we were shown. The Save Breweries movement that the guild put on, and there are a lot of different groups around town that organized beer to go pickups, and even the ability to sell beer to go has been something relatively new to breweries that was a huge help during this thing. So all of the support, it's great to see people coming back and hanging out and be able to stay and have a drink in the beer garden. But man, what a great community that supported us through the hard times, because it was really tough being not having a beer garden for as long as we did.
Yeah, especially when that's a big part of your business model, and just to be shut down like that.
It's just the most profitable part.
It's just the only most profitable part of a brewery, is the beer coming out of the faucets there. I don't even want to get into it. Yeah, our state, I like living in Texas, but man, sometimes they do things and you're like, what? Where'd that come from? Then they do other things, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And they do something else, you're like, who is this? Yeah, and especially right now. I mean, now we're all about to be, all packing heat.
Yeah, that's
It's like I'm all for less restrictions, but then it's like, how about none? Well, one, but it's gonna be a wild time.
Yeah. I don't know. You think it'll change anything really? I mean, kind of like legalizing weed. I think the people that are going to do it are already doing it.
I feel the same way, and as soon as weed is legalized, then I think that it honestly should be. I might be one of the people doing it.
You maybe.
Not that like now it's illegal, so I don't partake in the devil's lettuce.
Yeah, well, so we were talking earlier about the Cerevisier yeasts. I don't know if you've heard, or y'all may have talked about it already, but not only have they engineered the yeast to produce lactic acid while it produces alcohol, they've also engineered a strain that produces THC. So they'll basically be able to introduce yeast into a sugar water substrate and then create THC.
That's going to totally change the seltzer game.
Indeed.
Wow.
It's the next best thing since Jolly Ranchers, right?
I'm telling you, I don't see that in my golf cart. Gentleman's Relish is on tap now because we floated that keg of Yellow Rose.
Fantastic.
That didn't take long.
Yes, Gentleman's Relish is another one that you guys make, man.
When you're drinking beers by the gallon, it's just kind of like you can float kegs quick.
I know it's nice because I'll walk to the bar and I'm like, hey, give me a beer. Like the first one, they're like, would you like a 16 or a 22 ounce? It's like, yeah, I give that. It's like 22, please.
Yeah.
It's a long show.
Yeah. Please don't judge.
So you broke out some more cans.
Yeah, I broke out, like I said, we've been doing a lot of experimental stuff. So we have this saison here that Graham, one of our longtime brewers, has had this recipe, and so this is from a test batch, but we are about to brew it full scale. So you'll be seeing this saison coming out soon. So just wanted to let you guys give it a shot and kind of get an initial thought.
It's a Belgian saison versus a French one. It's what Graham prefers, and it's his recipe.
So what's the big difference between a Belgian and a French saison?
The yeast strain. The Belgian yeast strain is a little funkier, and it's a little sweeter, whereas the French one's pretty tart and dry.
And it's also not very nice. Because it's French.
It's kind of insulting. I don't know what you're saying to me, but I don't like the way it's looking at me. I will say this about saisons. It is probably one of my least favorite styles next to the Hefeweizen. And I'm just not a big fan of them.
Sure.
I'm not sure why. It is because everything that, when they're described to me, I feel like it's a beer I'm really going to enjoy. And
I'm well aware of John's distaste of Hefeweizens and bananas.
I like bananas and cloves. For some reason.
Yeah.
But this one here, a lot of those properties are more subtle. Is that just?
It's got the Belgian-y flavor to it for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's the phenolics you just don't like. That sounds like maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
not that.
definitely-
Let me rephrase that because I
here we
will
go.
definitely drink them. But I said it's my least favorite one, right? It's not that I don't like them. It's just some of my least favorite styles.
All right, we'll tell Graham you said it sucked. It's fine.
Just let him know. Tell him to text me. No, it's now this is you get a lot. You get a lot of fruitiness out of this.
It's all the yeast.
Yeah.
It's all the yeast.
I don't know, Tom.
I definitely get more of definitely that Belgian feel. It's like, really makes me want to jump into a trip hell.
Well, so that's the last of the light, easily accessible beers. It's all big ones from here.
Someone cheered in the crowd.
So what you're saying is things are about to get better.
Yes.
Or go downhill, depending on how you look at it.
Don't be an ABVist.
Don't we have a double Hefeweizen in there?
Yeah. Who does the editing?
No, this one, I can sit around and drink. I'm not going to throw down a 6-pack. And again, it's my own personal preference. There's nothing. This is a good beer. It's a very well made beer, but it's just, man, saisons. I don't know. I keep trying to like them. It's kind of like Scotch, right? I keep wanting to. Like I feel like at the stage of my
like
life, it's just Burnett. Even it just. I feel like this stage of my life, I'm supposed to be, my palate's supposed to be more sophisticated, where I like olives and I like Scotch.
Yeah.
And what else do I not like?
Cigars.
Cigars, yeah. Well, cigars, I can dabble some cigars, hanging out and stuff like that. But I still don't like Scotch.
Do you like bourbon or whiskey?
I do like bourbon.
Yeah, I've tried to like Scotch too. I don't know what it is about it. There was this one Scotch we tried that. Do you remember what it was called, Blake? It was super smoky. It was terrible. The guy who gave it to us is actually here, Greg, back there.
Hey, Greg, what's that called?
Terrible.
What's the name of that Scotch, Greg? No, nothing. Anyway, it tasted like licking an ashtray.
Well,
Yeah.
so I know that you've had Jabberwocky before. We were talking about it before. So one of the things that we've started doing at the brewery that we're having a lot of fun with is once on the second Saturday of every month, we're having a market day where all of the local artisans come up and they bring, it's basically a farmer's market, and they bring up all kinds of unique crafts and salsas and everything else. And one of the things we've been doing with it is every second Saturday when we have the market days, we're doing a barrel release as well. So this month's was a bourbon barrel aged Jabberwocky.
Ooh.
So I have both regular Jabberwocky here and bourbon barrel aged Jabberwocky. And
I'm excited about this.
That's just John's eyes just like
So-
widen.
Yeah.
After we all drink bourbon barrel Jabberwocky, we're all going to have to say bourbon barrel Jabberwocky.
I will do my best.
All right. All right. Well, here's the first.
I did finish the saison really quickly because it said Jabberwocky, but it definitely is growing on me, right? Because it is a very easy drinking. Like I said, I'm not getting the big flavors. Nothing against El Jefe from the label, but it's man, like that, just those bananas, those cloves, and those like I said, the fox, the yeast is producing out of these beers. I don't know, but this one is definitely drinking a lot faster.
As I said before, I'm very much aware of John's distaste of Hefeweizens.
Over here, I don't think Tom's had any.
All right, so this is the barrel aged.
And we do have some backups of these. So for those of you that are here, if you want a little splash, or Tom and John, if you want some more, we've got plenty.
It's all in that nose.
Like this I could drink all afternoon for about an hour and a half. It's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty cold. If you let it warm up a little, the whiskey really starts to come out.
What's coming out right now?
That's perfect because
Yeah.
it's time to go to break. So let's take a break. Let's let this warm up a little bit. We're going to listen to some more lockdowns.
Yeah,
And
maybe grab another glass so you can drink the bourbon barrel next to the regular Jabberwocky.
Side by
which we have here
side.
in bottles. You can do it side by side.
I like it. All right, we're hanging out with Lone Pint. This is a Lockdowns. We're here at House of Blues, Houston. Drink of Ages. We'll be right back.
Oh, baby, can I change your mind? I just can't let these feelings go. I think we're running out of time. Please tell me that you love me so. Never wanted you to leave my side. Never wanted you to tell me no. Baby, can I change your mind? Baby, can I change your mind? Down on the beach when I will tell you I knew that you were the one for me. We walked and talked until the sun went down. I swear it was a lover's dream. When you left me, there was not a place to put my heart for you. Don't know why you had to leave. Now what the hell am I supposed to do? Baby, can I change your mind? I just can't let these feelings go. I think we're running out of time. Please tell me that you love me so.
Hi, this is Casey from Your Cat's Brewing Company. We're going to take a break from John talking to you about beer for me to talk to you about beer. It's pretty much the same, except my beard isn't nearly as awesome. Here at Your Cat's Brewing Company, we've been making interesting and approachable craft beer right here in Houston since 2016. That means we're basically old enough to drink in dog years. Brewing up everything from crisp and refreshing Buffalo Bunny Cream Ale to hoppy and tropical mini box IPA, and brand new Un Poquito Mas. Our summer seasonal is a German-style Kolsch brewed with a ton of lime puree and pink Himalayan sea salt. It's a perfect beer for sweating uncontrollably. Look for it all over Houston. Cheers.
You may have noticed there have been quite a few changes at No Label, and they are steadily pumping out tasty brews. With their new head brewer, Trailer, bringing in his West Coast brewing skills, taps have been flowing with lots of hoppy deliciousness like Cali Boy West Coast IPA. I'm real excited about what they're doing on the west side. Tap room is open 7 days a week, very family and dog friendly. Make the short trip to Katy and see what is happening at No Label. Follow them on social media for events and beer releases. No Label Brewing Company. Fresh off the canning line at True Anomaly is Contact Light with 4-packs available now. A blend of styles, Contact Light takes the best parts of the saison and the IPA, folding in Mosaic and Amarillo hops for a spiced up, hop forward grapefruit and peach refresher. If you're heading out to watch the Astros, stop by for a beer before the game. True Anomaly is walking distance from all the stadiums, or just hang out in the tap room and watch it. Trivia every Tuesday evening in the tap room starts at 7:30 with badass prizes. Check out the website to book the barrel room for your next event at trueanomalybrewing.com. Valentin's Brewery is a small but growing family-owned nano brewery in Pearland, Texas, making award-winning beers in all different styles. Always something new to try on tap. Bring the family and the dogs while enjoying the spacious backyard while the new tap room is being built. If you're into the sour stuff, Valentin's is releasing 2 Berliners, a pear and an apple. These beers are like adult Gatorades. Make the short drive to Valentin's and try some award-winning, very tasty brews. Valentins.com, VALLENSONS.com.
Hey, this is Blake Harris, the general manager at Rudyard's British Pub. Just want to invite you guys out to our Thursday night steak and pint night. It's $25 for a 16-ounce New York strip, party potatoes, Caesar salad, and a free pint. As well, starting at 7 o'clock, we've got $4 pints all night long. Right now, we're doing about 20 on draft, and in the near future, we will be increasing that number. So come check us out. We're at 2010 Wall Drive in Montrose.
I know. Drink of Ages Radio here at House of Blues Houston. I'm John Denman. Tom Painter, co-host. DJ Muskrat, a producer. Jason Esparza over there doing all the badass video that you see. Our band this week, channel. Music guest, The Lockdowns. Killing it, man.
Killing it, yeah.
They're really good.
They are.
Our brewery guests.
In spite of Jimmy. Yep.
Well, that's what the cool thing, though, is like Jimmy Ammons, who's singing a lot, playing a lot of guitar, also works for Lone Pint.
Yeah. Yep.
Who is our guest. Trevor Blake, still hanging out with us. Blake decided it was time to break out the big beers.
Yeah, I was told that we're coming towards the end, so we decided to skip over the light stuff.
Well, I think we left a segment with Jabberwocky.
Yeah, so, you know, time to graduate from an 8.5.
The barrel-aged version of that. So, all right. So,
that's so good.
Did we all get to try the bourbon barrel jabber next to the just jabber? Now I sound like I'm completely drunk saying jabber. Yes.
It made sense to me.
All right, so the next pair we're gonna try. Couple of light sessionable laser Krakens. So this is our Imperial Stout. We did it a couple of different ways. We have the way that we bottled here, the regular laser Kraken, which was an Imperial Stout that we used Polencio sugar in to get the ABV way up there, and then we aged it in Appleton Estate rum barrels and a couple of different seasonings and spices. So that's awesome. And then we also have the coconut rum barrel equivalent. So you'll get one that's...
Which one's the...
So if you didn't,
what's the first one that we just poured?
So the first one you should start with is just the regular laser Kraken.
Gotcha.
Is the coconut.
to this one.
I like coconut. All right, so you have two different barrel aged.
Oh.
Well, it's the same barrel aged beer with different stuff in each barrel.
It's the same base beer that was barreled in different ways. So it's an imperial stout all the way through.
I'm glad you said it because I tried, man. It was going to be a fun one.
The hairs in my arm are going up. What's the ABV on this?
Runs around TABC certified is 13.3.
You gotta like rum.
Fortunately, we do. I don't know. How many bottles of rum we're drinking, Maui?
Oh my!
Yeah,
there's a familiar Maui feeling to this.
It's kind of the island life. Yeah, I think it's part of the deal.
Fantastic.
No, that's really good. When you start getting to some of the barrel aged stouts, it becomes like one of the smoothest beers you can drink. Right? Everybody likes these really light beers, like, oh, they're so easy to drink. But to me, like, this is just such a like soft, easy beer to drink, and it's 13%.
Yeah, I love barrel aged beers because when I was before I was in industry, that's the thing I chased of the industry was those kind of divine reserves and all that,
right?
Or the the Bishop Barrel, like all that stuff before. But it was just a magical time of a lot of barrel aged beers before the hazies and everything kind of took over like that, and so that's where the love began.
So they still make hazies, right? Like that's still a thing. I don't know.
Some breweries out there, I don't know, John. Do any breweries?
It's a fad. It'll go away. You guys just wait. It's gonna go away. We're gonna get back to. I'm still waiting on those the big sours. Sours.
I'm looking at your shirt directly, John.
I know.
So, in that vein, that we're getting into barrel aged beers like 15 years after barrel aged beers were cool. The last one that we're going to have tonight is a white stout, which I know is the bane of many people. It's the, it's kind of a black IPA, kind of hated on style. But we partnered with Cuvée Coffee, which is really cool out of Austin. And we did this white stout that we just put into bottles for the first time today. They're currently unreleased. They'll ship next week, but we have some here for Drink of Ages Radio, of course.
Excellent. But before we get to those, these here, how can people drink these beers? Because both of them are phenomenal.
So, Laser Kraken and Coconut Laser Kraken, they're both on tap up at the brewery. So, like I said, on our market days, which is the second Saturday of the month, we always do barrel releases. The Coconut Laser Kraken was part of that series. So we still have some that's available at the brewery, and then the Laser Kraken was available in bottles. Still hit or miss available, and then you can still get it at the brewery. And at the brewery, we're able to do crowlers and growlers. We don't limit it. When we're out, but we'll sell whatever until we get to that point.
I like that you're pairing barrel aged beers with market days. There's nothing like doing some shopping and doing some incredibly heavy drinking.
I'll tell you,
it opens up your wallet.
The vendors are on board.
I would.
The vendors are like, man, this guy came in. I don't even know if it was his
out
credit
for
card.
a beer
and
do some shopping.
Yeah, it works.
That is no lie. I mean, I just want to give you money right now. I don't even know why.
Yeah, we'll take it. That's cool.
So what kind of a barrel age program do you guys got over there? If you're saying like what, every 2 weeks, once a month, like when these market days are happening?
So we basically have been, over the last few years, we do a major barrel release during our anniversary month. Most of the time we miss our anniversary, so it usually comes out like a month later. But in theory, it's our anniversary beer. So we do about 1,000 gallons into barrels that comes out in bottles. But we've recently started, like I said, doing small barrel aging programs at the brewery, and we've been having a lot of fun with it. One of our brewers, Aaron, he's kind of taken charge of the barrel program and has come up with some really cool stuff. So we were able to do these small releases every month, and then we do a major release once a year. And we actually, coming up on July 3rd, we're having a gin barrel-aged Jabberwocky release that's going to be a major release on July 3rd. It's going to be a music festival. We're trying to sign the lockdowns. We don't know if we'll be able to get them to play, but we're really hoping that we can find somebody that might be open to it. They're probably busy. Yeah.
So is the Best Western still open on 249? Because
yeah,
I might need a place to
Magnolia
sleep.
Inn and Suites is very nice this time of year.
Yeah.
Yes. The courtyard at the Executive Inn and Suites is exquisite.
It's exquisite. For
Sounds
you and your
fancy.
wedding party.
Right. But there are places to stay. If you want to come up, it's going to be a lot of fun. That's July 3rd, and then if you want to stay over, July 4th is on a Sunday this year, and they're doing a big fireworks display at the park down the street from us, and we're having a video game truck for the kids. That's going to be a lot of fun. We've started doing a lot more kind of in the beer garden lately. Everybody seems to be more comfortable in the outdoor areas, which is great because that's all we have. So it works out for everybody. And like Father's Day weekend, we have a big cornhole tournament. We're raffling off a few big merch baskets and stuff to support the church across the street's doing a big cereal drive. So we have stuff going almost every weekend. We have live music, so we're doing a lot of neat stuff at the beer garden, like these limited release barrel aged beers and different themed weekends and stuff.
I can't tell you which one I think is the best because I'm going back and forth. Yeah, if you're watching the video, you can
The
see
coconut.
Coconut?
The coconut's good, but man, they're both really, really good.
They both have strengths. One is definitely very rummy.
Yeah, it was left in the barrels quite a while. It also had a vanilla bean, a couple different peppercorns, nutmeg, and cinnamon in the barrels as well.
I mean, how often when you're doing a beer like this, where you're adding so much stuff to the barrel, because are you adding it all in the very beginning, or are you adding it as the beer is aging?
We added it in the very beginning, and we had talked about doing some tinctures or maybe trying to distill some of the flavors out, but we just went in with the spices, and they did a great job on the barreling process, but it turned out really well.
Yeah, both of them, of course, are very sessionable beers. For the
if your session's 20 minutes,
I mean, right after breakfast,
or you don't require to know how the session ends.
Yeah, sure. There you go.
And when you need a nap after lunch, these are great. Kind of beers.
These beers are great for kick-starting conversations.
Yes.
Yes. No, these are great, and I love the fact that you're releasing one of these like once a month. I mean, that's fantastic.
That's a pretty aggressive release schedule.
But it's not a whole batch. Keep that in mind. This is just a couple barrels just for the beer garden itself.
I mean, it's still, a commitment to barrel-aged beers is really, it's hardly seen anymore, I feel like. Valinson's or like something like,
There's a few breweries out there they're doing, but I can't think of any of them that have like, hey, this is going to be our barrel-aged release schedule, and can sit there and actually release those beers when they say they're going to.
I know it's hard for us to believe we're releasing it when we say we're going to as well. We failed a lot in that way, but it's working now. I don't know if you caught what Blake said earlier, but we're going to do our first bottle release of a barrel-aged beer besides our anniversary beer with Jabberwocky aged in gin barrels, which is
No, that's when
an
John's
exceptional
eyes
beer.
widened.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's two of my favorite things. I'm not gonna lie. I love the Jabberwocky and gin. Like, gin's one of those things. Like, I used to not like it. You know, as we were talking about earlier, like Scotch, and I still don't like olives and whatnot. But gin, I didn't like. And then until one day, I drank a gin and tonic, and I'm like, I really like gin. And ever since then, juniper berries, you know, the whole thing, all about gin. I love it. I still don't like Scotch. I still don't like olives.
I found out what that smoky, terrible Scotch is called. It's Isla Scotch, so avoid that.
Just
at all
stay
costs.
away from that one altogether.
Yeah.
So that will not be a sponsor.
That's not a brand name. That's an island Scotch.
We've now
It's a type.
alienated an entire country. It's very American of us. So that's awesome. All right. Well,
You're smoky and you're terrible.
to the Scots that were listening, we're with Carbach. Have a good night.
Oh, man. You know what? I miss you guys. It's been a long time since you guys have been on the show. We were talking earlier, you know, I think the first time it was back in the old studios at News 92 in the parking garage.
Oh, man.
Where, you know, first of all, the studio, then the parking garage.
Yeah, and
then
nobody's for sure after that.
Yeah.
Is this what all this parking garage talk was? So between sets or whatever, there was talk of a parking garage.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry to get your hopes up, brother. That was something from the past.
We're not going across the street, Tom. Or we might.
I thought things were happening later tonight in a parking garage.
All right. Still plenty of beer in the cooler, folks.
No, that was that was pretty early on in you guys. Early on as Drink of Ages as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we were both like just starting all this stuff off, and you guys came and hung out at the studio. We enjoyed a lot of beers, went to the parking lot, and enjoyed a lot more. A band played, if I'm not mistaken, in the parking lot.
Was that Greenway Plaza?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, nearby. Yeah.
No band played in the parking lot unless you're playing it on the radio in our car. Craft beer wasn't cool back then. We were just hanging out in the parking lot drinking growlers before they were legal.
Man, I don't know. That whole time over at that studio off of Westland is a little bit fuzzy.
Yeah.
Is the way it all went down. Then there was that time that we all went and had steak night and Japanese whiskeys. Trevor. No, you don't remember that one?
Sorry.
Yeah, there.
All right, one more beer.
Let's get one more. Oh, hold on, let me finish these.
Hurry before I turn into a pumpkin.
Oh man, I haven't seen it. We just bottled this today. I haven't looked at it. It looks great.
Oh, I like that.
What do you think about the artwork?
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
so
figure
El
out what it
Cuero
is.
it
looks
translates
very-
basically into cowhide.
Yeah, it looks very Incan.
Yeah, so El Cuero, turns out it's a river monster or a lake monster that looks sort of like
Ex-girlfriend.
it looks sort of like Tom's
That is
ex-girlfriend.
crazy.
Also looks sort of like a stingray.
Also,
but it's black and white.
But it's a white stout.
It is a white stout. So
that's something. If you're watching the video, you know, looking at this right now, it looks like kind of almost like a golden ale. You know, a little not as clear, but
if you pour it on top of your laser Kraken, it's actually a little darker than it ought to be. But
I made sure my glass is empty.
we're trying to make it work.
right, yeah. We do the best we can with what we've got.
So, tell us about this white stout.
So we partnered with Cuvée Coffee out of Austin, and the coffee. So for those of you guys that don't know, usually what makes a stout dark is the dark roasted malts that go into it, and that's what gives stouts their bitterness, also some of their sweetness. And we kind of replaced the chocolatey notes from the malt with cocoa nibs, and then we replaced kind of the roasty flavors of the malts and the bitterness from the roasting with concentrated cold brew coffee from Cuvée out of Austin. And so it looks light in color, but if you close your eyes and drink it, it drinks a lot like a stout. That's kind of what we were going for, is another one of those kind of playing with flavors and experimental beers that we've been doing.
Well, you definitely get the stout, but because I'm looking at it, which you should have told me to close my eyes before. It drinks super easy for what it is, and I think it's like a mental thing. Like when you drink a stout, if you grab a Guinness and you pour it in a glass and you start to drink it, you're looking, you're like, oh, this is about to be a big stout, and it's not, right? It's very light bodied.
Oh, it's like 4.5%.
Yeah, and also 4.5%.
I just didn't think I could get away with the whole close your eyes and open your mouth thing a second time.
All right,
second time.
I've only been through this 3 times in my life. No, this is really good. I mean, well, Lone Pint, man, you guys are making great beers. I put you some of my favorite beers in the whole Houston market that's being made. No comment. I like it. Speechless. I left them speechless. But no, it is really, I mean, you guys make really good beers.
Well, thank you very much. And we've,
Didn't know if you were joking or not.
Fingers crossed behind my back. No, for real. You guys have always consistently made really great beers, right? I know Yellow Rose is probably the big beer. Put it out there, and Yellow Rose is good, but you're making a smash beer that's you have to, like, every hop is a little bit different, but like that's a good beer. But then when you get to your other beers, like I said, Jabberwocky is probably my favorite double IPA. And the rest of these beers you guys have put out there, Gentleman's Relish, delicious. You guys, from the beginning, have consistently put on some really good beers.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we love to make beers that we like to drink, and luckily people in Houston and the people in Texas have similar palates to us. I mean, we've done a lot of hoppy IPAs, and we still love that, and that's still our base. But we're having a lot of fun going out and doing some other stuff too. So we have some lighter stuff, we have some heavier stuff, and we're not really looking to fill every void out there, but looking to brew all of the things that we like to drink, and that's opened up a little bit, and we're super excited. We've gotten word from TABC that they're planning on merging the brewers licenses, so we'll be able to make lower ABV beers as well with the same license that we already have, and so we're looking forward to moving on and doing a lot of new stuff, and a lot of the stuff that we've done over time, a lot of the IPAs and everything else. So
no, it's exciting times, man, and looking forward to coming and hanging out at the new location. Once you guys figure that one out, I mean, just being able to expand and to the point where, like, all right, it's time to grow. We need to build something new. We need bigger, better things. And I'm proud of you guys.
I don't know if anybody said it out loud, but word is that we may see Yellow Rose in cans before second quarter of next year.
Wow.
Somebody's still listening. All right. Well, yeah, but so that may be coming with the expansion. So Keep looking out for things that are going on in the beer garden. We've got a lot of fun expansion stuff coming with the new property, with a foray into cans and new beers and new labels. So lots of fun stuff going on.
Yeah, a lot of super kick-ass stuff that seems to be on the horizon.
Yeah.
So that's a good note to kind of end this all on.
Yep. Man, no. Trevor, Blake, man, appreciate you guys hanging out tonight, man. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for sharing all the beers.
And for the record, sir, you're not done, so we've got a whole cooler to drink through.
Is this this is the fourth segment that you find on the dark web?
Yes. It's going to cost you 2 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
To see the deep cuts.
This is where you go to my OnlyFans page.
No, thank you.
Oh, you know you.
Kevin's about to have
a
heart attack. Get back to your booth.
All right, now appreciate you guys coming and hanging out, man. Really, you guys make fantastic beers. You've always been one of my favorites, man. It's always fun hanging out with both of you.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
All right, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight to House of Blues, hanging out for a Drink of Ages radio show here, and the Lockdowns for playing some badass music. Kevin Murphy, DJ Muskratch, happy birthday. You can find any of the old shows by going to SoundCloud or iTunes and all that. Sponsored by No Label Brewing. I know I'm looking at Tom, man,
like
because
cue cards or something.
Also going to be found on my MySpace.
It's one of those that like Tom sponsors this part of the show for a long time, and he's like, "All right, now say it." And it's like, "All right,
say those words." But by looking at you, I'm seeing this. What looks like just a murder spree on this table of just cans and bottles.
It's just so much beer.
It's probably why this segment's going so long, and Kevin's giving us all the looks in the world, and so is Jason. I'm sorry, buddy.
All right, you can listen to any of the old shows sponsored by No Label Brewing Company by going to SoundCloud, iTunes, and various other dark places on the web, Spotify, and some other stuff.
Stop listing services and
thank everybody for listening. Everybody be safe. Next week we'll.
Hey, can I say something ridiculous real quick?
Of course.
I promised one of my guys that I would plug his barbecue Instagram. So me, you, and barbecue at Instagram or whatever, however that works. And then please don't follow me at Lone Pint Niederhofer. But follow Chris at me, you, and barbecue. I promise. Cheers.
I think for that he should have brought us ribs.
Yeah. Yes. Next time he will require
We
ribs.
could do a whole other segment on barbecue.
All
right, here we go.
We'll talk to everybody next week.
I wish I could have turned him up, turn him up, turn him up. I gotta watch your mouth, that was so slow. How you out of your mind, or how you just and smoke and dope. I don't think I've ever heard such things before. Say another thing like that, I'll have to show you the door. You're turning up, whoa, whoa. You're turning up, whoa, whoa. I wish I could turn him up, turn him up, turn him up. Yeah, turn him up. Yeah, turn him up. Yeah, turn him up. Whoa, whoa. Another second apart. I don't wanna spend another second apart. We could go to the movies every night. We can hold your hand and that's alright. We can go to your favorite restaurant. You can dine and dash and we don't get caught. I always loved how it was back then. I don't wanna spend another second apart. I don't wanna spend another second apart. I don't wanna spend another second apart. I don't wanna spend, yeah, another second apart. Second apart, I don't wanna spend another second apart. I don't wanna spend, yeah. Another second apart, I don't wanna spend another second apart. Drink up.
John Bargerstock from KT Wellness is back with us. And John, tell us how testosterone replacement therapy can be beneficial for those who need it.
Great question. Well, a lot of guys think that it's just treating an area below the belly button region, but actually what it is treating area from head to toe. There's a lot of, symptoms that can creep up over the years because of the deficiency, but really what it helps is a multitude of things. That helps us with our mental clarity and staying focused throughout the day. It helps us avoid fatigue and be energetic throughout the day. Of course, it helps our libido and performance in the bedroom. There's studies that show it's great for the heart. It has a multitude of benefits, and of course there are risks, but the benefits far outweigh those risks.
So that's what you guys do at KT, though. You can come in, get your numbers tested, and see if you're actually a good candidate for this.
Yep. Actually, we make sure everybody qualifies for treatment before we offer that treatment. We don't just allow anyone to come in off the street and get testosterone therapy. It is a therapy, which means we bring people back to normalized, and I like to use the word optimized levels, not just normalized levels. So if they're deficient, we check their number. We verify that with a blood test. There has to be presence of symptoms. And then we put those two pieces of information and decide whether or not this person is a good candidate for treatment.
Well, that's fantastic because John and I, we kind of share birthdays. He's one day before, and we just had it. And so we're getting older, and things aren't, it's not
recovery
quite like
time
it used to be.
is not as quick as it used to be.
No, of course. But no, it's it's something every guy should know their number, where they are now, because with each decade of life, our levels drop anywhere from 10 to 20%. So it's a pretty drastic change, once you hit your late 30s and beyond.
Well, you can find out more information at ktwellness.com, and this portion of the show, the Men's Health Minute, is sponsored by KT Wellness. Unlock your potential.
Thanks, John, for having me.